private label, and today I am here to do another color video. Yes, it is fall, almost winter season, and we're gonna come out with some blue. We have our indigo blue here, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to get this look, and this unit will be available today in our Atlanta location. So the very first step, if you've seen some of my previous videos, is I go in with my Got2b spray. So I'm going to first protect the lace. That's very important because you do not want blue or whatever color you are using to dye your wig to have that color. So you also want to apply a generous amount to the inside of the unit. And again, if you do this at home, make sure you boil some hot water. But make sure that it's not too hot to where you are burning yourself. You always want to practice safety. So I recommend, doing like a little finger test to make sure it's not too hot. We don't want any issues with that. So I'm just going to brush the hair back. And what I'm doing right now is when I'm brushing the hair back, keep in mind we also have our Got2b spray on here. So this just holds the hair in place so that we don't have any flyaways on the lace, because again, the main thing we want to do here is protect that lace. And also, guys, you can see some of my videos on Instagram at the Wig Lab. That's where I post all of my hair content. I recently did a red unit that was available in private label, and I also have some red video contents on my Instagram as well as blue, similar to the color I'm doing today. So if you're interested in seeing more looks outside of this hair video today, you can see that on my Instagram. And now I'm just gonna let this hair have time to dry and mold. Once the product is dry, it will be a little hard, but that's okay. It's just protecting the lace. And once you wash out the hair color, it will immediately go away. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to worry about overly washing the wig or anything like that once it's done. So now I'm going to go with one of my indigo blues. And again, one thing I always like to do so we can always save as much product as possible is I always start off with probably about half of the bottle and then work my way up from there instead of just dumping it all in at once. Is because what happens is when you dye hair, you want to make sure that the color is even across the entire unit. So to do that, you want to just kind of generously dump a little bit in at a time and not too much at once. I am missing the brush. I forgot. It's over there. Oh, it can come over. Okay, thank you. All right, so now I want to go in with my handy dandy mixing brush here. And so one thing about it, the water is very clear. All of the color will automatically go to the bottom of the bowl. Once that happens, you just want to go in and stir, 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 stir. You can always tell when the product is ready because it dissolves. You don't see any clumps even though, when the color is a little darker, it's kind of hard to see. But you won't see any like clumps coming through anymore. It will kind of look more of all the same water paste consistency. And this is when you know that it is ready. So I'm going to just take this out, move this a little closer, and also slide this over. Okay. So today we have our Body Wave HD frontal. This is 18 inches and it's very nice and full unit. So I just made sure just brush it through. And you always want to brush your unit through. That just makes sure that it has no naps or tangles or anything like that in it so that the color can properly penetrate the hair once it's inside of the water. So as you can see, it's starting to take on the blue. And again, some parts of the hair will automatically just naturally take on the hair quicker than other parts. That's normal. So don't freak out once you see that. You will have to repeat this process a few times to get to a nice, full, consistent blue look across the entire unit. So I'm just going to pull it out really quick. So you can see it's starting to be blue. We still have some blonde pieces in here, baby blues. It looks very pretty. So I'm just gonna dip it again. Ooh. So what I'm doing is I'm gently kind of sticking my hand in this water. It is a little hot. So I'm just going to take my time with this so I'm not burning myself. And this is also something you would experience at home. So just be extremely careful and take your time with it. If you feel like the water's too hot, utilize your tools. So I'm using my comb right now to kind of like push it in versus sticking my hand all the way in the water. You have to get creative while doing this process because again, the water is hot. But you still need to get it done before the water is cold. You don't want the water to be cold either because it won't take on the product as much. One thing I will say too is now you can see my water is back to that light blue color again. This is how you know that you can go in and apply some more product. So I'm going to go back in with my indigo blue. You could get this here, this color here today at Private Label as well as downstairs in our showroom. But you can also get this color blue at any local beauty supply store as well. So I'm just going to stir this up. Also, too, keep in mind, you can do this process on black hair as well. But if you do, you will have to first bleach the hair to get it to a lighter color. It doesn't have to be all the way 613, but keep in mind that the darker the hair is, the darker the blue will automatically be if you are taking a darker color hair trying to get a light color blue. So just keep that in mind. When you're doing dyeing, I always say that if you're going for a lighter blue, I recommend starting off with your 613. But if you're trying to go more for a super like, you know, midnight blue where it's almost black, you will be fine with bleaching your brown, natural brown or black unit and slowly going up that way. You don't have to worry about having super light hair if that's not what you're going for. So I always say with coloring, it really just depends on what look you want to go for, your client is trying to achieve when knowing whether you should start with your 613 or natural hair. But if you are trying to be cost efficient, I always recommend just go ahead on and spend that extra $20 to $30 on your unit or bundles and just get the 613 because you will end up spending more money in bleach and products to get the hair the color you are trying to achieve. So that is my personal recommendation. If you are in this case too, like let's say we were going for a really dark blue, you can always like tap in a little brown or a black to kind of tone down the hair color as well. So that's one thing you could do to kind of help get more of the results that you're looking for. So as you can see, every time the wig comes out, it looks a little darker, which is what we're going for. It is the fall time, so we do kind of want to give more of a indigo to navy blue versus like a super light blue. So you can see we still have some pieces in between here, and you just always want to just keep gradually adding in more dye and take your time with it so that the wig can come out as even as possible. But sometimes with hair, as I'm pretty sure you guys already know, it gets a little tricky when you're dyeing hair sometimes because sometimes certain bundles or certain spots take the hair color on and other parts may not. I feel like when that happens, it's okay to just go ahead and just stop water dipping and maybe go in with your brush in your bowl and apply the color directly to that area if you keep experiencing that while coloring the hair. But what I like to do while I'm water dyeing hair, I kind of like move the hair that's already dyed and allow the other parts of the hair to be able to hit the water so that way it can take on the blue quicker than the parts that are already dyed. So now I'm just going to continue to repeat the same process until I get it to my liking. And also too, if you don't want to water dye your unit, that is okay. You can do it the long way with actually taking your bowl and your brush and going through track by track. But honestly, that way it just takes longer and it takes more product. So I don't feel like you really have to do it that way, but if you prefer to, you can do that as well. Or if you just wanted blue highlights in a wig, that is a way that it will be easier to just delegate off certain parts of the wig so that you're able to only dye the parts that you want to dye, if you're not going for a complete blue unit all at once. So this is what she's looking like so far. But again, I'm just going to continue to try to make this tone even across the entire unit. So now I'm just going to continue to stir. It's starting to dissolve again. Okay. And now I'm just going to take a look at the unit and see where we are, see where I feel like it needs to have more blue applied to it. I'm just going to flip it over this way because I see this piece looks more of a aquamarine, which is okay. I'm just going to be more intentional about where I'm placing the color blue. So I'm just going to hold it down, let it sit for a second. So now I'm just going to let the wig sit for a second, probably like 30 seconds. Let it sit, make sure that it's taking in all of the color. So, okay. Now we can see the unit starting to look more even all around the entire unit, which is what we want. It looks that nice, rich fall winter blue, which is perfect for this season. I'm really excited to see what the finishing touch looks like. As you can see, this happens sometimes when you are doing this look. So just continue to focus on that area. But I will say a lot of times the hair, even though like some parts may be a little lighter or darker, a lot of people always end up liking it because it looks natural. You have highlights inside of the unit. But again, to get rid of it, just continue to dip and it will go away. And make sure you move out the hair that is already taking the product in so that way it can penetrate in on that area that you need it to take the color in. Okay, so now I'm just going to re-dip the unit. So the very next step that I do after I finish this process is I then go in with some of my conditioner and let it sit, and just kind of let the moisture add back into the hair. From there, you can kind of like wash it or do your conditioning treatment, whichever you prefer. And then after that, you just blow dry it, and then you can begin styling the unit. So those are the next steps we're going to be taking today. So after this, I'm probably going to dip the unit one more time. I'm pretty satisfied with the color now. Let me just do one more final round to make sure we have not missed any spots. So again, I'm going to continue to stir. And as the water starts to cool off more, it takes a little bit more stirs to get the color to fully dissolve. And again, you'll see the clunks of the color floating around the bowl. I'm not sure if you can really see it in the video, but in person, you could definitely tell when the color is fully dissolved versus still floating around. Okay, so now I'm just gonna let this sit for a little while longer, for about 45 seconds maybe, just to make sure it takes its final coat. And then from there, I will begin to do my conditioning treatment, rinsing and washing. And then from there, we're gonna take a quick break so that I have time to blow dry it offline. I know you guys don't want to hit a blow dryer going in the camera, so. I'm really excited. If you guys have any recommended styles or like colors you guys would like to see, feel free to leave a comment below. That way we could try to get you guys the content or the colors that you would like to see or be able to purchase here at Private Label. I'm actually going to dip this one more time. So I'm just going to use the rest of this color. Oh, I'm like, where did my stick go? Here it is. Okay. So now I'm just going to stir it up. So I just want to do one more dip to get it as best as I could. And then once this part finishes, I will begin to rinse it out. Okay. Okay, perfect. Now it looks like the color we were going for. So I'm just going to rinse it out a little bit. And then now I'm going to begin washing and conditioning the unit. So the main thing I'm doing now, and I'm just kind of rinsing through the unit. And during this process, you just want to make sure that all of the excess color comes out of the unit so that it does not stain your clothing. Okay, so now that I've washed off this unit, I'm about to go in with some of our Asjah shampoo and hydrating conditioner, and then we will tune back in after we blow dry, and we will begin to style and pluck this unit, and it will be available today for pickup.